Hello and welcome to the Data Break Podcast, episode 61 for the week of July 21st, 2016. I'm your host, James Lee, and with me today we have Taylor Kelsey.
Woo woo.
And Max Lee.
Hello.
No relation. How are you guys doing, guys?
Good.
Pretty good.
Ready for the week to be over.
I am so done. Thursdays are actually I'm basically done with stuff by Thursday. So
Brag about it.
Well, no, I have work tomorrow and I have classes tomorrow, but I feel like the week is over by Thursday.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Anything new going on with you guys that's new?
No.
Nothing really.
Just, work, getting some money, preparing for moving to Santa Barbara
And losing all of it.
in like less than 2 months now, which is insane.
That's ridiculous. Wish you the best.
Gonna be good.
Back to school. Dude, summer's already over.
School starts September 22nd for me.
No.
It's
you
like
don't
the
understand.
longest summer ever. It's unbelievable.
No.
September.
Wow. Yes. May 16th to September 22nd.
That's
So like 4 months.
That's nice. That's ridiculous, though. I mean, well, you guys don't have as many breaks, though. Right?
Well, it's not actually like that just because I was transferring. Just because semester system going to quarter system.
Uh-huh. Oh, I see.
So like Santa Barbara, they got out of school a month after I got out of school.
I see. Okay. So you kind of came out on top for a sec.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, it's nice.
Wow.
Okay. Well, we got a few topics to talk about. Not too much, but that's because I want to talk about I want to discuss some things that I really want to talk about, like that are not news. But we'll do a quick news roundup. So, literally just 30 seconds before we started the podcast, I found out that Nvidia is making their new Titan X, I guess. It's kind of dumb. Like their naming system is becoming Apple, like where it's the new iPad.
Oh god.
The new Super Mario Brothers.
Wait, is it literally called the new Titan X?
It's not. It's just called Titan X.
Oh, okay.
But it's dumb.
We call Titan next.
It's $1,200. It's a lot of money.
That's $1,200.
$1,200.
That's more than any of the other new cards they made.
Well, it's still so super powerful. 12 gigs of GDDR5X RAM. Blah 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 blah. It's kind of weird though because it's not. I don't think it's using. So when Nvidia releases new graphics cards, they have when every generation, whenever they decide, all right, this we've caught up with technology. We got the new technology ready, and then we're gonna make graphics cards out of this new technology. Whenever they do that, they kind of split it into three main types: a high end, a lowish end, mid range end, and a super high end. So one reserved for the Titan thing. This one, it looks like it's not really a like using the big boy graphics chip. So it's kind of strange to see them not moving up to that. I could be wrong, but Nvidia's blog is hammered, so we'll get to that later.
All right.
Tesla. Elon Musk posted a new article on the Tesla website. Max, why don't you give us a rundown of what was in that plan of his?
All right. Basically, it's a four-step master plan for all of Tesla. First, it was make a low battery, expensive car, so that he has the funds to make a medium battery, not as expensive car.
So the first car, right?
Yeah.
Is the Roadster, Tesla Roadster.
Yeah.
And then the second car, which we all know, the Model S. Keep going though. Did I interrupt your train of thought?
So then it leads to medium battery car, and then that goes to a high battery affordable car, which all of it is supposed to be made so that he could basically make a huge solar power industry.
That's right. So I think last week we mentioned very briefly that Tesla was buying up Solar City, the little solar startup from Musk's cousin.
Yeah.
Musk to Musk. So I guess I guess it kind of all makes sense if you think about it. It's like, you know, you gather your energy from the sun to store it in a battery, which you would then transfer to your car battery, which you power your electric car with. It seems very, very cohesive. Go on though.
Uh, wait. All right. So his plan is basically so that even public transport will be based on Tesla designs, such as buses being shrunk to more or less half the size to take up less space, and eventually, so that self-driving cars would be all public transport.
So wait, is this like ride sharing?
Hello?
Or like yes?
Are you there?
Yeah. Are you dead, Max?
No. Is my internet messing up or something?
I'm getting a lot of robot.
A little bit of robot from me.
Huh, that's not good.
Well, just go ahead.
Oh, wait, what part did you not hear then? Because I
The
was-
car sharing. I don't know. Can you elaborate on that?
Oh, car sharing. Okay. Basically, there's, what was it going to be called? The Tesla fleet. When you're not using your self-driving car of the future, you're able to set it so that it would be connected to Tesla's, I guess, cloud system, in which it will be part of the fleet and Uber other people by itself.
That sounds pretty cool, I guess. I mean, like, does it like, like, do you get money for it? Do you get compensation or something for it? Or
Apparently, you are supposed to get money when the car is part of the fleet.
It's like
Yes.
slave labor from your car.
well, it's not slave
You
labor
make
if you're getting
money from
paid.
it. It's
Well-
the car's
well,
the one
actually-
not getting paid. It's the one doing the work.
The car is just a
True.
resource, Taylor.
Cars are people too.
Well, if it's a self-driving car, that means no, it's not sentient. So
Not yet.
not
wait.
yet.
I mean, it does require some sense of AI to, you know,
To drive
self-drive.
itself around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, currently for the self-driving AI to function, they kind of need the cars to memorize where people are driving. So the more people buying Tesla cars means more information Tesla can use to update their self-driving car
I think they
AIs.
need a Pokemon Go of Google of car data.
No,
Where they,
see,
like the
exactly.
walking path kind of thing.
Exactly.
Goes for cars. What if we
Yeah,
release
more or less.
Pokemon Go Faster? A Tesla game.
So you're so
Your
you're-
car self drives. You're staring at your fucking phone, and meanwhile they're just getting data so they can send Ubers better.
hey, if it works. That sounds like a good use of all the map data, though. I suppose. By the way, the like I didn't mention this when we first talked about Pokemon Go, but like I'm usually pretty apprehensive about the permissions that phones take on your phone. Like apps take on your phone. Like have you ever gone through the permissions that some apps take on your
Never,
phone?
not once, never have I spent more than a quarter of a second.
Well,
looking
it's
at
so
that.
dumb because like you're like, oh, I'm going to I'm going to use this music app, right? I'm just going to listen to music, and they're like, okay, I want your camera, I want your location, I want access to your camera, I want access to your location. And you're like, wait, hold on.
Just
What do you
listening
mean I
to Rihanna or whatever.
yeah, it's like, do you want a picture of me like listening to Rihanna? So like I'm usually pretty wary of that sort of stuff, and I kind of like try to manage my permissions and keep it, you know, nice and secure. But when Pokemon Go came out, I'm like, fuck it, just take it all. Not great practice, but yeah, like location is forever on my phone. My phone's
Well,
got
at
a lot of
At
extra
the point where you realize that all your privacy is gone, it's already gone, and it's not like you're gonna be able to reverse engineer that, like stop, like, oh, I don't want anyone to get any of my stuff now.
Yeah.
It's too late. They've already
Yeah.
got you, so you kind of just think, keep going on with it.
Yeah, I do what I can. And it's just like, just to fight back, to do little
You
feeble.
just flip off the cameras; it's always on. You just flip off every
Yeah.
Pokemon that you catch
Yeah, fight against the man.
with passive aggressiveness.
Passive aggressive finger flipping over.
We're gonna talk about that.
No, actually, apparently the servers have been like really unstable for the past week or so.
I bet.
But today they were actually pretty decent, and today is the only day I haven't been able to log in to my Pokemon account, so I haven't been able to play all day today. Yeah, have you guys been playing it at all? By the way,
I've installed it.
I just got data back. I ran out of data until 2 days ago. And yesterday, I went on a run, and then it was the worst run ever because I stopped every 5.5 feet to catch a fucking Pokemon. It was like, hi, it's 10 at night. Here I am running and catching Pokemon. Everyone else is like, I'm sure they know what it is, but I still feel like an asshole, just constantly staring at my phone and walking back and forth while doing all this stupid shit.
Right.
God, it was the worst. And it's like, I'm not actually playing Pokemon here. I just want to be level 5 so I can click on the gyms to see what Pokemon is controlling it. That's all I want. Because I'm level 3, and they always click on it and says, you're not level 5. You know what the fuck this is. It's like, I can still let me look at it, please.
Are you grinding in Pokemon Go?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of part of it, yeah.
That's like the entire game.
Well, I'm aware, but you are intentionally going out of your way to waste time catching Pokemon.
Well, I was going for a run, so it's not like it was a completely unproductive event.
Dude, true, but it seemed more like you were taking a walk based on the fact that you had to stop every 5 feet for
that's what happens when you have Pokemon Go on your trips.
The density of like Pokemon, it's usually like, all right, I ran half a mile and then nothing, and then the next half a mile it's like a Pokemon every 4.5 feet. So it's not like a constant 5 feet stop, 5 feet stop, 5 feet stop. It's sporadic.
All right.
It totally depends on the density of the area too. Although you live in downtown, Taylor, so it's pretty dense, right? Or
Midtown? Yeah, Pokestops at the wazoo.
That's nice. That's nice. I get it. I mean, I'm not complaining either. Even though like I live in a pretty rural area, my campus is chock full of Pokestops and gyms. There's 2 gyms next to each other. I don't understand. But I personally find like Pokemon Go as one of like the most like cool experiences I've had in gaming. Like surprisingly so. Like it's like a surprisingly like the most surprising weird experience.
How many more times? I'm surprised at the amount of times. Surprised.
It's cool because like I'll actually talk to like random strangers just because of Pokemon Go. I guess that's kind of the point where they kind of like
people tout that social element in that game a lot, but it's mostly not. It's mostly staring at your phone in public.
Like on a college campus, it's a lot. It's like I guess it's a little easier because you're all kind of the same age group and all that.
That makes sense, yeah.
So like I think I was in class and like the class was taking a break because it's like a 3-hour lecture, dude. It's ridiculous.
Christ.
But like the guy behind me, he's like, hey dude. He's like, I was like, yeah. He's like, playing Pokemon? I'm like, hell yeah, I am. And we're like,
got some drugs.
He's like, dude,
did he pull out his fucking giant duster coat and show you all the different legal Pokemon he has in there?
And like he totally he totally didn't look like the person who would play video games all the time. He just looks like your average dude, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But like he was just like, hey, dude, like you know when I like, did you see me like get up in the middle of class? Yeah, like that was because like some giant Pokemon was around. And I just went to try to go get it. And I was like, dude, let me know next time. and then during the lecture later, like I see him like get up, and I'm like, okay. And I open up my phone. There's a giant Pokemon. There's a Pokemon like running around. I'm like, all right. So I wait a couple minutes and I leave, and then he's like waiting outside for me. He's like, all right,
wow.
There it is. I'm like, oh
my god,
I don't know.
That guy's a fucking fanatic.
No, it was just like I was happy because we were just bored in our lecture, and also like we were just having fun.
Yeah.
The cool thing is that my university set up like an own little, like the students have set up their own little Facebook page, and like it's really cool because the small town combined with the campus is like people know exactly where everything is in town and campus. So there was like people like, oh, I think there's Growlithe by the library, or like there's like a you know, this cool Pokemon by the library. Growlithe is kind of pretty common where I live. So like it's like, oh, there's like a Ghastly or something about the library, and someone posted on Facebook like, oh really, and then everyone will like kind of run over there and try to catch it. So like yeah, and then like so like we, like in the middle of class we just got up and we just like ran around campus trying to look for Pokemon, and then we were running around and this guy was like just like chilling out under a tree, and he's like, hey, you looking for Pokemon? And we're like, yeah. He's like, oh, I think I caught it over on that corner over there, and we just ran over to get it. We didn't get it because it was too late, but like it was just cool having that little interaction with like complete strangers, basically.
Yeah.
And I hear the courthouse in downtown Merced is also like pretty packed with people catching Pokemon. Like, my other friend, I haven't had time to do it because I've got my like studies to focus on, and homework and all that. But my friend is like, oh yeah, my lab mates and I, we just when we're done with work, we just like sometimes we just go out to the courthouse and go catch Pokemon. Like just after work, we just go out of our way and just go catch the Pokemon. So like it's just really cool to see like people just do it, like getting like taking like going out of their way just to catch Pokemon and play this game. I don't know. I thought it was really fun. Yeah, that's that. I mean, I've had a more positive experience with Pokemon, I guess, just because I live on a college campus. Perhaps.
Yeah. I just kind of refuse to buy into it. Maybe because I'm a piece of shit who just like doesn't want to be part of the crazy popular
Stuff.
part. Yeah.
Too mainstream. Too mainstream.
But like it's fun. Like just it's fun enough to be next to my girlfriend while she's doing it. I don't want to. I avoid the collectionist mindset as hard as possible because that's something that can really get in there and fuck with you and fuck with your life, and I want to avoid that.
Yeah, Pokemon. I don't think it's a big deal. Like, it's just casual. Like, I don't generally go out of my way just to catch Pokemon. But if I'm, like, if I'm like walking through
We're getting up in the middle of the class.
Well, okay, that one I'll give you that
seems
one.
a bit extreme.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one. But like, I don't know, like between classes or like going to work and back, like I'll just try to stop by, just try to hit all the Pokestops on my way. I don't know, it's fun. I have fun with it, but I can't log in, so I'm not having fun with it right now, which is fine. Like and the thing is though, is that like today I wasn't playing at all, and I didn't really miss it. I was like, oh, I can't get this Pokemon, and then that was kind of it. So.
So you don't really mind the fact that you're not connected to Pokemon Go 24/7?
Yeah, I really don't mind.
Right.
Okay. I know we kind of like went off tangent with the Tesla stuff, but do you guys have any thoughts on like the idea of like lending your car out to this giant Tesla fleet? Tesla fleet, by the way, sounds very imposing.
Good words.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is intentionally going with the idea of ship fleets. Like he said, like his example when Elon Musk explained how the Tesla fleet thing is going to work with buses, he said that the bus driver will no longer be driving a bus. He'll be basically a fleet captain of a bunch of self-driving buses. So he's really going for the, how should I say it? Fleet word.
That's how you say it. You got it. Crush that one.
Yeah. Would you rent out your car just to get like to pay for your car? Like it'd be kind of cool to be able to pay for your car just by renting it out to other people.
Yeah, for sure. I'd do that.
Yeah.
But it'd be kind of awkward. It's like, oh, I need to go. Because my car is busy right now. I can't do it.
Well, I suppose if you're at work or something, you're like, oh, like if you're at work, you're like, okay, I'm gonna go. Like times you're not gonna be available.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be a good time to do it.
But Taylor, the thing is, say that your car is currently in the fleet and you can't use it. Can't you call in someone else's car?
Oh god. Then what's the point of having my own car?
There's a bumper sticker.
Longer distances.
There's a bumper sticker that will say.
Well, what if I need to drive long distances?
I guess you're taking someone's car for a long distance. I guess.
And it's a fucking chain reaction because that person's like, motherfucker, I need to go to Tahoe. My car's driving to LA right now. I don't know what the hell's happening.
And that's how it works. And then no one owns a car anymore.
And then communism, essentially.
Basically,
Do you
car
think
communism.
that's the ultimate?
Car communism is my favorite car combat game.
Do you think that's the ultimate goal of the Tesla fleet idea, so that all cars are more or less public domain in a way?
Well,
I'd be super into that.
Private transportation in general, I've never particularly liked private transportation just because of how just so many problems with it, right? You mean you're talking about like car accidents all the goddamn time. You're like, the traffic, pollution. Like, I mean, I understand there are certain applications where private transportation is good, but like when you're in, downtown or like you're in suburbia, well, suburbia just sucks in general
Mm-hmm.
because it's the distances are super awkward.
Yeah.
But like, uh, it's there's points where you don't really need all that. Like, have you seen that diagram where it's like it's just like, okay, there's 20 cars on the street, and then like this is what it looks like when people carpool, and this is what it looks like when everyone takes the bus, and like you notice
Yeah.
like a huge like difference in traffic. So it's kind of like that where like, if you don't need to take your own car there, then you don't have to, and it's easy to not have to do that.
But car companies obviously wouldn't like that.
Well, that's what happened in LA. In Los Angeles's public transportation system used to actually be pretty decent, and then I believe it was GM.
Yeah,
GM
I've heard.
took control of it, and then they just ran it into the ground. They actually got caught doing that, by the way, and they got fined. But by the time it was too late, and then that's why you got all the traffic, the terrible traffic in LA, that super infamous
Smog.
traffic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I imagine someone's gonna be fighting tooth and nail against Musk, Elon, but that's how it goes, I guess. I mean, it's very ambitious, and I don't know if he like. Do you guys think this would actually come into fruition, or?
If Musk wills it, it will happen.
I mean, he's fought against the odds this long. He still has a lot of momentum.
Okay, I kind of wonder because it's like I'm I'm just kind of ooh, my monitor's turned off. Like I imagine there'd be a lot of backlash to this because like there's I bet there I mean I guess it's probably opt in, but I imagine there's a lot of car owners are like, I don't want some bozo driving my car even if they're not even driving it. They're gonna get sweat stains all over the seat.
Well,
Yeah.
you don't have to put the car into the Tesla fleet. It's
Yeah, it's
your
opt in.
choice.
Yeah.
Is there only
Yeah.
other Tesla members using it, or just any person could use your car?
Well, I don't. I would imagine. That's a good question.
I don't think the blog article said anything about that.
I imagine
Because if
it
it's just
isn't-
other Tesla members owning your car, it's like, oh, they're probably very proper and refined like me, because we're the only ones that have 5,000 bajillion gazillion dollars for Tesla.
Right. Hey, Model 3 is coming to the layman.
Except for the people who pre-ordered.
Yeah, that. I mean, we're not seeing the model.
Well, eventually, the electric cars are going to be.
Yeah, Model 3s we won't see on the road for at least 2 years, imagine. But regardless, moving on. I think that's all the quick news that we wanted to talk about. Because I wanted to get into our main topic of discussion this week. Taylor,
Yes.
do you like old things?
Yes.
Why do you like old things?
Could you just say the words you're trying to say instead of walking me down this specific path? This
Well-
is making me nervous.
Okay, so yeah, so I was reading a lot of news articles about things that were coming out, like coming out of Comic-Con, where there were some announcements of, there's a new He-Man series coming out. Remember He-Man? Yeah, he's back now. Or they're doing a reboot of this other comic book series that we from a long time ago. They're doing another new DuckTales. And, there's and then last week Nintendo announced or I think it was this week even, Nintendo announced a $60 NES. You could buy you buy a $60 NES and it comes with 30 games, all from your childhood. And I was like, wow, these are none of this is actually new stuff, right?
But it's everyone's favorite stuff is the old shit.
It's like the old shit. And the last thing, the one that the kicker for me was this month Japan will be producing its last VHS. Right.
Or is it VHS or VCR player?
I believe it was VHS. I don't
I just know in hell they're making new VHSs.
Yeah, right. The point is they're no longer by the end of this year, we will no longer have any new VHSs being made. And people were lamenting. It was like, oh no, VHSs.
Those people were wrong. VHSs
VHS
are
were-
bad.
Yeah.
But why do people want it? Why do people like VHSs?
And some kind of old school, well, nostalgia or some kind of hipster old school thing going
It's
on.
not that they actually want VHSs; it's that they just don't want it to be gone. People don't like things being obsolete and
But
gone.
Right.
It's
Even if they
already
don't use them.
obsolete, even though it exists.
Oh, obsolete's the wrong word.
No.
Like extinct.
Antiquated.
Like they don't like it being extinct,
Right.
All right.
even if they don't use it, because like, oh, I remember when I had that. And
Yeah.
all right,
like,
throw it in the fucking fire. We don't give a shit about that anymore. People don't
to
like
me,
that approach.
To me, people were less like they were not lamenting the death of the VHS more so much they were lamenting the death of their past. Like, it's like, oh, that another tie to your memories is gone. It's like kind of like mementos. The reason why we keep little mementos from trips that we've gone on, or things that our parents have given us or whatever, is because they remind us of things past. So by the extinction of the VHS or VCR, which by the way, those things last for a good long time. It signifies more of it signifies just people growing up really and getting with the times. So like I don't know, like what do you guys think of all this this cash in on nostalgia? I mean, Pokemon Go that's a perfect example. They didn't even add the new Pokemon. They kept it to the original 151.
The nostalgia is a big part of Pokemon Go, but I think the novelty is what made it catch on more like wildfire than actual nostalgia for Pokemon, because more people are playing Pokemon Go than that actually played the Pokemon games or know Pokemon.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
more of the AR elements of it, and then the Pokemon kind of fits with that pretty well, but it's not the Pokemon property itself that's making it the craziest thing in the world.
Really? Like I don't think it would be as popular if it was Digimon Go, or
Well, Digimon was never nearly as popular as Pokemon. But
or Yu-Gi-Oh or Yu-Gi-Go.
It being
sorry.
called Pokemon got its start, but the fucking craze is not because it's a Pokemon game. The craze is because it's an AR game.
Well, I would say like the start, that initial start, and people getting so excited about it was like important to
but
bring other
comparatively
people from their eyes.
to stuff like the new Ghostbusters movie, that
Okay,
you're only gonna fucking see because it says Ghostbusters.
yes,
Yeah.
that is true.
There's no other redeeming quality to that movie. Nothing new, nothing unique.
I wonder what the critical reception is. I know people on the internet hate it, just but I wonder if it's actually legitimately bad.
I've heard that the critical reception is not any better either.
Okay.
See, Rotten Tomatoes, once it loads, 73%, which is pretty decent.
Huh.
That's pretty good. Like, isn't like 75% like the cutoff for like certified fresh?
Certified Fresh is like 70, I think.
Whoa, so certified fresh. The critics, I guess they seem to they probably think it's okay.
All right.
Yeah, it's just a comedy that happens to have Ghostbusters in it. But yeah, like just stuff like that. There's reboots and all that fucking garbage that's been around for the last 6 years. So that's the nostalgia that you wanted to talk about mostly, right? It was corporatized nostalgia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
that stuff. I know that they're I'm aware that they're trying to appeal to nostalgia, and I rebel against them trying to tap into my psyche.
You don't like being played?
I don't, and if I know that someone's trying to fuck with me, I try so hard to
Yeah.
not have it. What do you call it? Not have it work on me.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so there's things like the Ghostbusters thing, right? And then what about I already talked about it, but like the new NES that Nintendo is announcing. Is that also a cash in on nostalgia, or
I'd argue it is, because this is not the first time we had a so-called mini classic console with a bunch of games built in. Sega, Atari, All those companies have done that for years. It's just that Nintendo's now doing it. So it's nothing new. It's just a cheap cash in.
Well, well,
But the thing is,
This-
these games are games that I've not played.
that's
and
what I was
want
about to
play.
say. That's what I was about to say. Like I'm considering getting it because it's modernized so that it plugs into your HDMI. Oh, Taylor's getting dead to Reno.
Yep.
But like one is that it plugs into your HDMI, so you could plug it into your TV without any problems. And two, like it's it's an easy way to just play NES games, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But like you're talking about like the Sega Genesis and stuff like that. Do you think people like the reason why? Do you think Sega released, the Genesis Mini or whatever, their new Genesis, to cash in on the nostalgia crowd, or is it more of just like running out of money? Someone buys something.
Well, they're running out of money, so they need to cash out in the nostalgia crowd.
I suppose you're right, because all the examples I gave, well, actually, 2 examples I gave, they're not doing so hot in the gaming industry. So, yeah, you're probably right.
So, but I mean, do you think Nintendo's an exception just because of Nintendo?
I mean, like, for a few years now, since the release of the Wii U, Nintendo has been hemorrhaging money. So,
Nintendo's always been nostalgia. They fucking made Mario 30 years ago, and that is what they've been riding with the entire time.
but can you really call that nostalgia, though, besides the new Super Mario Brothers
Because
game?
it's always been there.
Yeah, it's always been there, so it's more like it's just always present day as opposed to being nostalgia. Now, Super Mario Maker, or was it Builder? I don't remember.
Maker.
That might be catching into nostalgia a little because it allows you to make the game look like one of the older titles. But I'd
I would
argue,
even say Super Mario Maker is like an evolution in Mario. It's like that's a step forward for Nintendo because like user generated maps and stuff like that.
I suppose.
But go ahead. Like,
No, I kind of finished the
Oh.
idea there.
okay. I mean, like, I guess like things that I guess if you want to qualify it as nostalgic, it'd have to be away for a while. So like by bringing it, but if it was always there, you can't really call it nostalgic. It's like, hey guys, remember Pokemon? Yeah, Pokemon XY came out like last year, you know.
Yeah.
But if you say, hey, do you guys remember Pokemon Red? That's coming out. I would argue that's sort of more. That's more
Isn't that
along the
happening?
nostalgia.
Aren't they doing remakes of that?
Yeah, they no. Well,
yeah.
well, they're doing remix. They did a remix for the 3DS, and I wouldn't call that. I wouldn't call that nostalgia because they adapted it for the modern consoles. But like releasing like regular good old fashioned Game Boy Pokemon Red on the digital store, so you could play regular Game Boy Pokemon Red on your 3DS. I would say that's more nostalgia.
To
Yeah.
an extent, although if it's like, are you saying a straight port of the game?
Yeah, straight port of the game would be nostalgia.
I call it just cashing in, not into real nostalgia, just putting something into the digital market. If it was remastered but not remixed, then it might be, trying to build up the nostalgia hype.
Huh. I mean,
You think
I
at this
see it kind of
point-
the opposite way, but like,
This point in the media cycle that people are like me are just like immune to the corporatized nostalgia, or is it something that people are gonna be able to like build resistance to, or is it always I know this thing, I like this thing, I'll buy this thing?
It might be just a trend right now because remember what was it? A few months ago, Samurai Jack was announced to reboot and all of that. It's
right?
I feel like it started as genuine attempts to appeal to nostalgia, and then everyone just got into the bandwagon of it, and now it's corporatized nostalgia.
Well, nostalgia, people have been catching on nostalgia forever, ever
True.
since like the dawn of new media. Like, remember gritty reboots, or like, I mean, you guys remember Hansel and Gretel? Bringing that back.
Oh,
Jack the Giant Slayer.
Yeah,
yeah,
terrible movie, by the way.
they're all terrible.
Yeah, they are. So I don't think this is like necessarily a new trend, but like I think like I guess I would probably say yes. That if people like it, then they will buy it. Like that, I don't think people are going to um people are going to become immune to nostalgia because nostalgia is just like it's a very human like characteristic to have, to remember things. Um, whether or not abusing that is a good thing or not, that's something else. But people are always going to be attracted towards nostalgia, and and sometimes it might not even be nostalgia, more just like loyalty towards a franchise, right? Like
Yeah.
Star Wars, for example. I mean, are you nostalgic towards Star Wars, or
Well, I mean, the recent film was really hitting all of those points, wasn't it?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. And is that a bad thing? Good thing? I know a lot of people panned the Force Awakens because it was too much like the original Star Wars.
Me.
Well,
Um,
business-wise, I understand why it's done it because it needs to ease people into the new trilogy.
and I personally think it's not a big deal. I mean, the original. I mean, just because the format of Star Wars has never been that original in the first place, but also because I mean, I guess at the end of the day, I just don't mind. Um, I mean, people like what they like, I suppose, and I don't think there's anything stopping them from that. Uh, yeah, like there are some things that are like, okay, you're just ruining my childhood, right? There's like I remember that nostalgia, and then there's you're ruining my childhood nostalgia. Oh man, what are some good examples of money just ruining your childhood?
Money ruining my childhood?
Well, like people trying to cash in on nostalgia, and in doing so, ruining your childhood.
You mean a
Nothing
poor
ruins your
execution?
childhood. They didn't
Well,
like
like,
go
like
back in time and stab me while I was watching the Star Wars
Well,
movies.
like you know what I mean though. Like it's I mean, I'm being hyperbolic, of course, but like in terms of just like, oh, like I thought this was gonna be like I wanted to see more of this, but now they just kind of made it bad, and now I don't want it anymore.
Huh.
It's killed, like basically just saying killed your interest in something you liked before.
Yes, yeah, I guess that'd be I guess a lot of people would argue like Battlefront, the new Battlefront from last year, was very kind of lukewarm.
I'd agree.
And just kind of people lost their interest in the Battlefront franchise. By the way, I hear they're bringing space battles and offline game mode back. So
They're working on it.
yeah, they're working on it. They're making an effort at least.
I'm
But
really
like,
trying to think of something that killed my nostalgia. Killed something I liked as a little kid. I don't know. I'm just never really like that hyperbolic. Like, oh, this sucks now. It's just like, oh, I didn't like that.
well, it's not like like it doesn't have to like suck, but like it's like yeah, I didn't like that. Like I get if the new I haven't seen the new Ghostbusters, but like if you see that and you're like, oh, that's bad, stuff like that. Like attempts at cashing in nostalgia that just completely failed. How about like? Is there any good examples that we could bring up just for fun?
They're also forgettable that I forgot them.
That is true.
Yeah, maybe it's for the best.
Because of what Taylor said, forgettable, I remembered, what was it? Sonic 4. It was a game that came out a few years ago, trying to cash in onto the nostalgia of the original 3 Sonic games. Apparently, they were pretty crap, but then again, that's just Sonic in modern times. I'm
Well,
not sure.
isn't Sonic more like a franchise, or was there like a significant gap between Sonic titles?
There was never a significant gap between Sonic titles, just like there's never a significant gap between Mario titles. It's just that the games Sonic 1, 2, and 3, and Knuckles, those were considered to be the golden age of Sonic, and to make a game called Sonic 4 would be trying to cash in and saying, oh, hey guys, this is just like the old games that you loved so much, but I would say that's trying to cash in.
I see. I mean, I guess it's like I'm sure it must be a difficult line to tread as like a content producer. You're like, oh, I know I really like this thing from back then, and I want to bring it back. How will I get the nerds to not be like, only the old things were the best? The new things will never live up to the old things.
Those people are never gonna change their minds.
Yeah.
That's probably true.
Because it's selective of like they can
The
choose
inherent
examples
bias, I
to
guess.
fight their argument.
There's an inherent bias there too, I suppose.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't know. It's just a really interesting thing to observe when people like all this cashing in on nostalgia and trying to pick out what is like a legitimate or like a good attempt at doing so, or what's a bad one, or what's just really cheap and kind of
The good
is it
ones
bad?
are when it just happens to be a good movie that wouldn't matter if it has the branding on it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If it just came, like if the franchise hadn't existed before.
Like
Yeah.
the new Planet of the Apes movies.
Yeah,
Oh,
those are
was it
pretty
good?
decent.
Was it good?
They're just good movies, and
Yeah.
it doesn't matter that. Because the idea sounds like, oh fuck, you're really bringing back Planet of the Apes again,
Uh-huh.
but then like, they're just good movies. It doesn't matter, like
Okay.
that it's a remake anymore if it's its own good movie.
Right.
How's the second movie? I haven't seen
I
it.
didn't. I just know internet buzz about them.
All right.
We can't generate our own opinions, but we could.
It could, but that'd be a lot of media to consume,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm just.
and I'm busy consuming the same media over and over again, so I can't do
Right.
anything new.
Yeah. Do you guys ever do you guys ever rewatch TV shows and movies? I mean, I rewatch a few movies every now and then, but how about you guys?
Rewatching them?
Yeah. Because there's so much media to consume. You're like, oh, you haven't seen Kill Bill, and then here I am rewatching,
Fuck Kill Bill. That movie sucks.
Inception for the 50th time. Like,
The only thing I rewatch is stuff that I know I watched as a kid, but I cannot remember any of it now.
for nostalgia.
No, just so I could remember it and
Yeah.
see if I had like an actual opinion as an adult.
Right.
Uh,
How it holds up today, I guess.
But in high school, I loved to watch the same TV show to the point where I memorized it.
Which
So
one
I
was
could
that?
be
Was that
the.
Community?
It's Community, it's Parks and Rec, it was Scrubs, it was a couple others, 30 Rock. Just like, I'm going to be the expert at this thing. And that's what I do. I'm just gonna know every fucking joke from Community because I've literally seen every episode 10 times. I don't
So
know
it's-
why, but that's how I
Just
was.
Like, maybe like you could have like a contest, just like who could break out like the most obscure Community or whatever reference. Like, what was the most obscure reference you could break out?
That I could break out
Yeah.
right now.
Do it.
In
Go
each of
ahead.
the first 3 seasons, they say the word Beetlejuice once per season. And in
Okay.
the 3rd season, the 3rd time they say it, a guy dressed as Beetlejuice walks in the background, like really far away in the background where you can't really see him.
That's pretty good.
oh my god.
And that's because, like in the movie Beetlejuice, you say Beetlejuice 3 times when he appears.
Mm-hmm.
Once per season.
That's pretty good. But what's the most obscure, like specifically Community, like specific, like focused reference? You can make?
Community focused reference? That is in Community.
Okay. All right. I mean, okay, never mind.
I mean,
I don't know where you're asking
Something native to Community that isn't a reference to something else, like cool from like Ahmed or something. Like, I wonder if you could how well you could sneak in Community references in like a conversation with like
Oh, like just
without-
steal jokes.
not even steal jokes, but just like say things that's like only the most like like only the biggest Community fan would be able to.
See, I used to be about that, but I don't really care anymore.
Yeah, guess not.
I would be able ask me 2 years ago.
2 years ago, Taylor.
Yes.
What's
This is me.
What's the best?
League of Legends.
League of
Sorry, what? What are you saying?
Sorry,
I'm busy.
sorry. I'm the.
Fuck you, Gangplank. Sorry, I'm busy, James. What are you talking
I'm
about
not,
here?
I'm not the odd one. I'm sorry. Anyway.
all right,
so,
modern
Gangplank?
Taylor.
Yes, hello.
Well, how about? Okay, so what about vinyl though? Is vinyl? We can't. I guess we can't really like sympathize with.
We're
the
not nostalgic for
nostalgia.
vinyl.
We're not
born in
nostalgic for vinyl.
1996.
Yeah. But I guess we just kind of like.
It's a thing I like that happens to be old.
Yeah.
It's not hipsterish like it was better before.
Yeah,
or any
no,
not nostalgic
I hate,
for it.
I really dislike the idea that vinyl somehow sounds better than digital recordings these days.
It's really hard to fucking tell.
Really hard to
Because
tell.
I haven't spent $8,000 on stylus or anything,
Mhm.
but
But I don't know. Even so, like digitally, you kind of preserve it.
Yeah.
Whereas in vinyl, there's like a lot more variables to keep in account.
Not to mention the quality of digital recordings, especially studio quality stuff. It's basically as close as you could get to perfect. We don't really need vinyl anymore. It's more for the nostalgia, I suppose.
no, there's a lot of little things that I like about it. It's not like nostalgic.
I use it as
Maybe
an excuse to
maybe it's
have.
like weird nostalgic for a different time. One of the main reasons I like it is because I don't own any physical things, and it's nice to have to touch something that you like, and And I don't want to have like 4,000 different DVDs and video games and shit. I just have like, here's the music I like. I can hand you this music I like
Uh-huh.
instead of like sending you a list on Spotify.
YouTube link.
That's like a weirdly novel thing in 2016 of like actually physical
I'll let-
things for media
Yeah.
you can share.
My coworker actually just lent me a CD like a few months ago to listen to. He's like, "Oh, do you like I think like Dan Albert's work, or whatever?" He sent me like a CD. I forgot.
The
what-
Gorillas.
No, it wasn't the Gorillas. I think it had to do something with the Black Keys or something. It was that
Oh,
like their side project. I don't know. I forgot.
Dan Auerbach, you mean?
Yeah, Dan Auerbach. Yeah, one of his side projects.
That's such a straight sentence to hear nowadays. Being
Yeah,
lent a
Damon
CD.
Albarn is the
Producer, right? Does he produce the Black Keys albums? Or
no, Damon Albarn was Gorillas. Dan Auerbach
Dan
is
Auerbach.
Black Keys.
Yeah. That guy. But yeah, he just lent me a CD to try, and no surprise, he also owns a vinyl. He also owns like a turntable and all that. So like we talked about turntable. I mean, I use vinyl as an excuse to buy really big album art and like to look at. So that's just me.
Wouldn't it still go into what Taylor said of having something physical to remember by?
Yeah, I mean, like I guess there's like I mean, unfortunately, I can't get like super sentimental about it. Like I guess it's kind of a novelty to me to put a record on a turntable and play it. But I don't get like that much satisfaction out of playing vinyl personally. I mean, it's fun. It's fun to like press the buttons and do all the stuff. And I'm a gearhead, so I do like that stuff. But that's just kind of a gearheady thing that I like about it. Yeah. Do you guys have any other closing-ish thoughts or any other thoughts in general about like nostalgia and just things from the past, ancient things from the past, or things that you want back? Like, do you guys have any cool things that you want back?
Cool things I want back.
I'm not very nostalgic
Okay.
in general.
You know, I feel like I felt more nostalgia in the past, but nowadays I'm just looking towards to whatever new stuff are coming out as opposed to whatever stuff they're bringing back.
You're starting to. I understand how you feel, Max. Like these days, like when I hear about like a new IP, I'm like, ooh, that's interesting. Not like, oh, do you guys remember this old thing? We're not remaking a game. Do you
Well, the
remember?
way interest works is you have to be unique. And before, being unique was, oh, they're doing a remake of that. That was unique. 1999, they're making more Star Wars. That's unique. It's not a remake, but just
Right.
an example. Now, since they're fucking flooded in remakes, now anything novel is unique. Anything new IP is unique.
Yeah.
I was just getting so tired, like especially this past couple years in gaming. It's just like, oh, you remastered an old game? Oh my goodness, that's amazing! Like, come on, guys.
Well, I mean,
I mean, there are a couple things that I like. For example, System Shock is getting a reboot or a remastered edition, and I like that because I haven't played the original System Shock, and it's so old that it actually warrants a remaster.
yeah.
Like even the new Call of Duty remaster, I don't think is worth remastering. That game looks pretty good as it is, and you can
It's-
still play it on a modern console.
Yeah, it's still a modern day game, even though it is last generation. Though, the thing is, I'm wondering, why are people buying into the Call of Duty 4 Remastered Edition hype so much? Because now that I think of it, people complain every year that Call of Duty is the exact same game, and now they are literally getting the exact same game.
You make a pretty funny point. I think it's because Call of Duty has gotten so shitty that to them, Call of Duty 4 is an improvement, even if it is just a return to form.
It's but every Call of Duty game since then has that same form with just stuff added on top of it.
I think a lot of people would argue otherwise. I think a lot of people argue that the last good Call of Duty was either Modern Warfare or Modern Warfare 2.
So like
I maintain that the last good Call of Duty was Modern Warfare. Like, so like, and like just years and years of just terrible, games. You finally back at the status quo. Just you're exactly the same as the status quo.
yeah, I don't know.
So I'm yeah. So I think there was one thing that I know I remember I talked about this already, but like I remember I always wanted a new Battlefront, and that's gone. Well, it's still here, but I haven't bought it yet. That's the funny thing. 8-year-old me would have killed for a new Battlefront, but it's sad. It's kind of like I guess in a way like I'm also becoming immune to that sort of nostalgia cash grab. Yeah, I remember when they remade Doctor Who way back in 2001. I guess that was a pretty big thing because the old Doctor Who was back in the 60s or whatever. So
But there was a lot of time between then and the new Doctor Who.
yeah, but like just because it was back in the day, does that make it a good thing? I would make a terrible leap to conclusions, but I won't. But like, just because Vinyl's a bad example. Damn. Like, never mind. I would have thought of an example, but time has passed.
All right. So my point was for the Doctor Who thing that you mentioned was that if the time has passed by that much, I don't think it's cashing into nostalgia. I think it's more of someone's interest in genuinely reviving something that died years ago.
Yeah, and I think that's fine.
Right.
But sometimes, I wonder if there's a point where people is like, okay, this we're done with this now. Can it please like never come back ever again, please?
Nope.
Guess not. Yeah, it's cyclical.
Crap, now I remember the new Tom and Jerry show that came out like 10 years ago. That's not new. That was shit.
There was a new Tom and Jerry.
Like
That's something you remember enough to hate still.
Like I remember when I was like 7, I watched the really old Tom and Jerry stuff on DVD and all that. And then in like 2006, they made a new Tom and Jerry show, and I never felt so disappointed at that age before. It was just a terrible cash into, I guess, nostalgia.
You're like, TV shows could be bad? I didn't know this was a
Man,
thing.
that must be so
I'm
depressing. That must be so depressing because I remember as a kid, like just everything was fine. You're just like, I'll just watch this. Oh, they're making a new thing. That's cool. I'll watch this. I like TV, sure. But as you grow older, tastes change. And Max, was that the breaking point when you
No,
realized
it
that
wasn't
TV could be
taste
bad?
changing. The old show was better because the new one. In fact, I think that was the first time I thought they're making shows way too friendly for kids now. Even though I was just a kid then, because
8-year-old Max was hardcore.
I mean,
didn't fuck
there was
around.
none of the violence of the originals. It was so soft. There was no magic that came from the violence of the old shows. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's a good time to stop with our. I guess it's a good time to leave off with our nostalgic discussion. I linked you guys an article earlier today about recycling in Taiwan. I don't know. I just thought it was just really interesting because basically the summary of the article was that in Taiwan they they recycle, or so the trash bin. There's no trash bins in Taiwan, I guess. Uh, Instead, a dump truck kind of runs through every neighborhood 3 times a day, and you have to take out your trash then and there. So people have to take out their trash when they can. Uh, so and there's all but the interesting thing about that is that you can only throw away trash that is in government approved trash bags. They have like serial numbers on them, and if you throw away an unauthorized trash bag, you get fined like a lot. And you have to buy the trash bags individually. They're like they have different price ranges and sizes and whatever, but you could recycle for free. Recycling is free. So recycling is also and also like a crazy thing because here in the United States, do you guys sort your recycling stuff at all?
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, to an extent. Only the bottles and cans, though.
Okay. And Taylor, you just like it's all in one bin and you just
Yep, we're bad.
Well,
Just put it in the trash can, put it in the trash bin,
better
put it
than
in the trash truck, put it in the trash hole.
better than well, my apartment doesn't even have a recycling bin, so that's not fun. But I do try to sort my recyclables because I like what I do is I leave all the bottles and cans in one bag and then someone will eventually pick it up because bottles and can collecting, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
So in Taiwan, you have up to 13 different bins to sort your recyclables in. Like that's crazy. I didn't even know there were 13 types of recyclables that you can do. I guess there's like plastic, cardboard, paper, bottles and cans. I guess glass. It's pretty.
And more.
And more. Yeah, there's more than that. Like
Yeah.
what else? How else could you divide it? Like, is it only cans of this height or bottles
Different types of
this-
plastics?
I'm sure. I guess there's a lot of different types of plastic, so that's possible. So like, and I just thought it was really interesting because like, people they find so heavily that this actually was super duper effective, and like people, and like now today Taiwan is actually a pretty clean, or at least that's what the article said. I have not been able to verify myself. I could try though. I'll just fly over to Taiwan right now. So, like, I just thought it was a really the I guess the culture change is just finding the shit out of everyone and just enforcing them to change their habits. I don't know. What do you guys like? Do you guys think that's like an effective or good way to go about it? If it's especially for like recyclable and environmental purposes, or just just like no.
It's hard for me to have an opinion because I'm not a trashologist.
Well, I mean, just like if if Sacramento County decided you need to sort your trash or else we'll fine you.
That would suck. The way we do it right now is great because it's like invisible. Like the article mentions, is like American system tries to act like the trash truck, the garbage truck is never there, and you don't have to do that much work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to put more work into my garbage. It's like literally the last thing you want to put work into.
Right.
Is throwing stuff.
But
Well,
thing is, they don't really sort through that. If it's in the trash bin, they just dump it into the
landfills or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. Well, I mean, I just like you could always. I mean, you could pay companies, and I mentioned in the article that people pay companies to sort the recyclables for them. I guess a lot of people would adopt that. Do you think, or
or maybe go through the San Francisco system?
go through the San Francisco system where the city just takes care of all that, and they sort it. I mean, I think they also sort already in Sacramento County as well. They do sorting themselves, but I'm not too sure.
Well, the problem is considering that we see that landfills are constantly, being filled.
That's their job, yes.
Yeah, maybe it has to be put on a federal level because every county is going to have different standards to how much trash belongs as trash and how much should be recycled.
That will not be taken well. to say the least.
Yeah, because every state and county wants to be independent, which doesn't always work out.
Well, and as I was saying, it's just a very interesting difference in culture where, like in Taiwan, just like you deal with it or you're fined. Whereas I guess here people would probably put up a fight, and say like, man, that's too much work to sort all motorcycles. I don't want to do that. Um, I guess the point of their system, though, I guess, was to reduce waste in general, so that people were more conscious about what they were using and what they were, what they were throwing away. So I like in that respect, I could respect that and support that, but I don't know. It'd be very hard for something like that to gain traction in the United States. It's like I don't know. Fighting the crap out of everyone is not the great way to make friends. Turns out.
True, but I mean, it can be effective depending on whether or not they want to fight back.
I suppose.
Like,
well, I mean, in Taiwan, I suppose you didn't really have a choice. Just
true.
like, yeah, you just
But,
get
but,
fined.
but Taiwan's not the only country that does that. Look at Singapore. They're a more extreme example, and they're also clean.
Yeah, but I mean, at the expense of if you litter, you're dead.
Pretty much, but people shouldn't be littering in the first place. So,
I suppose not.
yeah.
I mean, it certainly cuts down on it. I mean, it's a little bit extreme, I suppose, but can't argue with the results.
True.
I just thought it was a very interesting take on like different like attitudes towards public policy, and I don't know. I just thought it's kind of refreshing to see people just like, not refreshing, but very yeah, I would say refreshing. Like to see just people just like being so cooperative with, doing all that sort of stuff, sorting the recyclables, taking out their trash on time and all that. Here it's just chaos. It's just chaos. Because I talk about this because I occasionally overhear conversations with the recycling guy on campus, because I mean I work in the Department of Energy and Sustainability for my campus, right? So part of that is recycling, and like the guy who oversees all the recycling, he always talks about different ways people recycle and different habits that people pick up. And like at the end of the day, he said that like the main issue is like a culture issue where we need to make people want to just sort their things, or not waste as much. So finding people, I guess, is a proven example of how you could do it.
I suppose so.
Any final thoughts before, or go ahead, Max.
Is there any other way to actually make people properly recycle? Because
people just don't like being told what to do in general. So.
That is true, but if you tell them about the issues of what happens if the trash just keeps on piling up, they say it's someone else's problem or it's the problem of future generations, so that they don't have to care. But eventually, someone's going to have to pay for it. And if we, actually recycle all that, then that issue will be stretched further away.
We'll let future generations deal with that, Max. Okay, so any closing thoughts before we head on to our last section of the podcast? Taylor, Max?
Well, I want to talk about my girlfriend's brother's getting a computer.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't talk about that.
Well,
My
that's our
girlfriend's
next section
brother
then. That's our
got a
next section
computer.
then. Okay.
As far as I know, it's nice as fuck. It's like $1,000. I don't know exactly. I don't think they built it. It's a pre-made computer.
Okay.
But it should be able to run everything.
Games. Yeah.
And what should he get?
What are some good?
He has a PS4 and he had a 360.
Well, what games has he played before?
From what I've seen, he played Battlefront. He played GTA 5, Need for Speed. Not Need for Speed. One of the maybe like Dirt Rally or something like that. I think it was Dirt Rally.
Okay.
He likes cars. He likes shooters.
So basically, your average teenage boy.
He is 14.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So he got a computer, and I'm trying to figure out
Some good PC
what
games.
I should recommend.
Huh.
I haven't.
Possibly, he said he's interested in like he wants older PC games too, but I don't know how old he really means. I'm
How
sure
old he
old
wants to
to
go.
14-year-old is like 2009. You know,
Give him
I
some
don't
good
really
old
know.
Rogue Squadron 3D.
No, see, he wouldn't enjoy that because that's pure nostalgia at this point. That game is not gonna
It's,
Actually,
hold up for you.
I play.
It
I
has
played.
not
I
aged.
played recently.
well, I mean,
Age is okay.
for
All right.
someone for a 14-year-old, something like
yeah,
that.
you're right. I would not recommend it.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
so like older games, that's way harder to recommend.
Do you think you could handle more complicated games, like things that require a little bit more like work?
Like
How
what? What are you
complicated?
Like,
thinking of?
okay, like on a scale of
Dwarf Fortress.
on
Here we go.
on a scale of one to, like on a scale of Call of Duty or to Arma, right?
Eve.
Okay.
Give him Eve Online.
Well, he's in the shooter genre is what his scale is.
Yeah,
I think he wants more arcade. I don't think he's
more arcade
looking
stuff.
for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Unless it's racing and we could like get a really fucking good racing sim, he'd probably be crazy into that.
Really? Okay. I mean, yeah.
Like Project Cars or
Cars, maybe Dirt Rally. I hear Dirt
yeah, I think
Rally's decent.
Project. He has that on PS4.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Let's see the other game. I
Truck
was
Simulator?
thinking-
No, that's more for older people.
No.
Really.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, what was that? What was that one truck game? That like
Omnibus.
no,
No.
like truck, like something about like Armageddon, or like you have to like jump over cars and stuff.
Oh, I know the.
There was so
Cluster Truck.
Cluster Truck. I don't know if that's coming out soon, but Cluster Truck sounds.
Wait, you're literally talking about Cluster Truck? I was thinking about that, saying that as a joke because it's another truck game, but you're actually talking about Cluster Truck.
Yeah, it's Cluster Truck. I think Cluster Truck would be a fun game. to play.
That's not a racing game.
That's
though.
It's
not
not
a
a
car
racing
game.
game. It's not. It's not a racing game. It's not a car game. But I think you would have fun with it because just like chaos and like
Alright.
it's a lot of
I was
action.
thinking about Warframe because it's free.
But he's.
That he's not an idiot.
Yeah. But like, Warframe is.
We're inherently thinking like.
No. The reason why I was iffy on it is because since he's a console player, he might not have that much experience with how free-to-play games work. So he might think it's
Warframe's on PS4.
yeah, but it's a kind of a different experience.
He owns an iPhone.
mean, well-
like it's not like it's just a PC thing anymore, man.
like-
Free to play games are everywhere.
Well, I mean, also like, I mean, by introducing to these certain elements, I think like it'd be good for him to like kind of recognize these sort of types of market structures and stuff like that.
All right.
So like, do you think that'd be it'd be something to ease into?
Warframe's a pretty.
I don't know if it
decent
should be
game.
like trying to give him a teaching experience of what it's like, or just like here are some good PC games, or like try and
PC
I don't really know what angle to do it.
Right.
I'd say we should try for both.
Okay. Does he have Overwatch? Overwatch is fun.
I think he would like Overwatch,
I think he would like Overwatch. I mean, like,
but I don't want to play with him.
just don't give him your BattleNet ID.
All right.
Excuse me, I just burped. He also experienced. He told Jill that he wanted to play Inside.
Oh.
I don't
Wait,
know,
wait.
like,
Can you
where that came from?
do you think you could tell us about like what happened when you had your girlfriend play Inside for us? Like,
Oh, okay.
It's a really
So,
funny.
yeah.
It's a really funny story.
So there's a part Inside where you have to. We talked about it in our spoiler section, cast, whatever. Where you have to jump over a fence over and over again and try and pull a board away from a fence, and then jump over another one. So the dogs are chasing you, and you have to. It's really, really fucking tense because dogs are chasing you back and forth constantly. And there's a part where she's trying to jump towards the chain link fence, but the dogs were really like right on her ass. So then she got scared. So instead of jumping towards the chain link fence, jumping forward and up, she just jumped straight up and went wee, and then the dogs ate her out of midair. And then she dropped the controller and ran away and screamed because she was so fucking tense and she was so scared. It was awesome. And she was also after that death, she was standing like the full range of my 360 cord away from the screen. It was awesome.
That's pretty
Even though it's not a jump scare game.
It's not a jump scare game, but it's tense as
very
hell.
tense.
Yeah, that scene when I saw on YouTube, yeah, it did seem.
Should I tell them to get MGS5? Or is that just too extreme, or is it too fucked now that Konami got their hands on it?
I mean, MGS5 hasn't changed since.
They like all the they've made it more fucked in terms of multiplayer and just kind of
Well, it's
all the
single
money
player.
stuff.
Yeah, I
cool,
kind of
isn't it?
gave up on the multiplayer though.
Not like competitive. I'm talking about the what are the bases called?
Oh, you're talking about the FOBs. The
Yes.
wait, did they mess up those even more now?
Yeah. Yeah. As far as I know.
Yeah.
What about something like the Stanley Parable?
Stanley Parable would be. Ooh, has he played Portal?
Do you think that's a good like general? Yeah. Portal 2 is a lock in.
Is a 14-year-old going to appreciate
He's
something
not
like the Stanley
stupid.
Parable?
He's not stupid. I think it's good for all ages.
It's a funny game. He doesn't have to like it for
for art's
the
sake.
gaming commentary. Yeah.
I think that'd be a good choice.
It might be okay with
Stanley Parable.
Do you think he'd like The Witcher?
Portal
Do you
2.
think he'd like The Witcher?
Wait, hold on. Another question to know more of his taste.
Uh-huh.
Does he watch YouTube gamers?
As far as I know, he only watches Filthy Frank.
That's okay.
So
Never mind.
So we have to.
That
we have
kind
to
of
recommend
makes
to
everything
him, like,
skewed completely.
We have to recommend to him visual novels now.
How am I supposed to recommend something to someone?
he
who
learned the term weeaboo from Filthy Frank, and then kept calling Joe weeaboo trash, and then she got really mad at him for calling her weeaboo trash, and then eventually their mom said, "Matt, stop calling your sister weeaboo trash." Best.
The best thing is hearing your mother say that.
Your mom saying weeaboo.
Yeah.
Even though she has no fucking idea what he's saying. It's like, you can't say this anymore.
Let's give him a weeaboo game.
Um.
No, actually, let's not. He's a 14-year-old. I don't want to know what happens to people after that.
How about?
Do you think he'll like Skyrim with all of his modding, or do you think that's a bit?
He said mods are later, but not yet.
Okay.
I suppose it's a bit early
Yeah,
then.
wants to
Yeah.
dip his toes in.
Dip his toes in. I really like Deus Ex, Human Revolution. It's a little
Okay,
dated.
should it be
I don't
an
know if he's played it
experience
before.
that you can't
Just wait
really
for this
get on a
fucking new one.
console?
Yeah, like I don't like. Is it just games in general? Because like I mean.
Hello?
Hi.
Okay. Should it be an experience that you can't really get on a console?
I mean, not necessarily.
Hmm.
But what are the strengths of PC? Are games you can only play on it, like weird strategy games and mouse stuff, graphics. So games he has seen before, but now they look way better. Or indie games, right?
Oh, okay.
Those are like the main things that he probably
And free
hasn't.
to play. And free to play.
Ooh.
So good indie games.
Transistor,
I mean, I know Transistor.
Bastion.
Transistor and Bastion were already on the PS4 as far as I remember, but I don't know if he's played them.
Didn't play them.
There's
I
a
mean-
bunch of platforming indie games. Crap though.
Spelunky. Spelunky's great. You can't get that on the
I
PS4.
don't. I feel like he would like, oh, this is for children. Look at this thing.
Oh, okay.
Fuck that kid.
This question's getting even harder.
Actually, here's a good one. Insurgency.
Okay, so I guess we'll put Overwatch into that list because everyone's
Yeah.
playing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overwatch.
Have you-
Portal 2.
How about Insurgency?
I've never heard of it. Is that the hardcore zombie
no,
one?
no,
Which game?
it's Insurgency. It's like a good mix between Battlefield and.
Wait, which game is the hardcore zombie one?
I don't know.
I don't remember what it's called. So there's a lot of them.
Oh, you mean DayZ?
No. It was like, I can't remember anything about it, so I can't. I just. No.
Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare?
That's it. There you go.
Actually, I've heard that's a genuinely decent game, but that's also on Xbox and PS4. So, yeah. I'm guessing it's too early for him to like something quick paced like Unreal.
But no one's playing that. It's old and.
They have Unreal 4
Oh.
currently in pre-alpha, but they are making a lot of strides in updating it.
Yeah. Well, he's bought into it, so he's not really getting scared away here.
All right, let's throw in the hard stuff. Okay, let's give him some Unreal Tournament, some Dwarf Fortress, EVE Online.
Just get him right into Dota 2. Just get him right in there.
You want him to die from high blood pressure at that early age?
Well, I do want him to die, yes, if you're asking.
Then give him League instead. I mean, if
Yeah,
we
we can.
want an actual PC experience, League and Dota are well.
I think he would be super into Super Hexagon also. Isn't that on the phone, isn't it?
That's on phones. I think that's on everything nowadays. Never played it, but it does seem like a decent game.
Hotline Miami.
Oh yeah. That's actually a decent one.
I don't know anything about it, so
Is
it's
he
hard
looking
to
for
say.
fast-paced games?
I've just like heard a sentence and a half about, so I don't really know.
What about Dark Souls? No?
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, I suppose.
The free to play is a really good angle to go at because he's 14, doesn't have any money, you know.
True, okay.
So if we could think of like that.
But, okay, now that I remember it, Warframe at the moment, and has been for the past few months, it's not friendly for new players.
New players, okay.
It's like, the developers keep making stuff for the end game without having any idea where they're going. So it's a complete mess for anyone who hasn't played for a long time now.
Okay.
What else is there?
Yeah, Evolve's free, so might as well.
Yeah,
And it
I
wasn't
guess we
on,
could go
it
with
was
that.
on PS4 before, wasn't it? It wasn't.
Uh,
It's not free on PS4. Only free in PC.
it might be free for PC at the moment because making huge updates on consoles is a much more arduous task. Is Dirty Bomb still a thing? Because that might be a decent free-to-play game for him.
Technically,
All right. It might have a population. I kind of doubt it now. Okay, maybe Warframe.
the new Doom.
But Doom?
Yeah, he would like that.
14-year-olds, heavy gore violence.
Everyone would like that game. Doesn't matter what your age is. I'll give it to a baby. They'll enjoy the hell out of it.
But don't give it to a mother because a mother won't like it.
Oh, yeah, his mom would not like that game.
Which is why he would love it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's see. Overwatch.
I've written down Overwatch, Portal 2, Warframe, except for tap it on that. Super Hexagon, Hotline Miami, Evolve, and New Doom. Insanely Parable. Let's get that one in there.
All right. Okay. Yeah, Doom definitely. Maybe even the old Doom games with like the Brutal Doom mod because it does modernize it while still keeping a lot of the old content. So, okay, so Doom and Doom. Okay, Doom squared.
I think this is enough. I think we're good.
You sure you don't want to have him try EVE Online? I mean, if he plays that long
Spreadsheet
enough.
Simulator 2016.
Well, the thing is, should he play EVE Online at that age and continue to play it, he's already got job training as an economist.
I don't want him to get anywhere near the economy side of video games. I just want him to play good video games.
So definitely not CS:GO or TF2.
Exactly.
I don't think CS:GO is good for anyone's health. So scratch that off.
Not in
everyone's
any
list.
way. Every aspect of that game is bad for your health.
Yeah. Yeah. I suppose that's enough.
Okay. So yeah. Anyway. So yeah, that's good. I think that's a good time for us to like close out. But before we do, what have you guys been checking out?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing really. I returned to
Work. Can I tell a fun story from work that wasn't
Yes.
fun at all?
Sure.
Yes.
So Wednesday started out with me puking as soon as I showed up to work, and they called them and said they had no other extras because I'm like a summer camp counselor.
Right.
And then I was sick while working, and then at break a kid got pushed down into the side of a flower box, like a planter. There was cement in like the corner of it
Oh no.
on the back of his head.
Oh.
And it was just kind of like he's like, oh, they're like, oh, Christian hurt his head, and I said, all right, Christian, come here, let's look at your head, and he pulls the hand from the back of his head, and it's covered in blood,
Oh boy.
and then I look at the back of his head, and he's missing a chunk out of it,
Oh.
like a centimeter long and like 4 millimeters deep, and then I'm just a 20-year-old fucking schlub. I don't know. This is like a terrible situation. It was just pure chaos and panic, and I have to stay as calm and humanly possible because I have 20 other kids that I was teaching at the same time too.
Right.
And he got 8 staples in the back of his head to keep
Whoa.
him together after his
Whoa.
mom picked him up and took him to the hospital.
That's crazy.
And then today on that planter, you can see a lot of blood stains.
Oh my god.
And all the kids are like, "This is where your blood was." It's like, this is fucked up, guys. This is terrifying. Yeah, so that's my week.
That's crazy.
Did they take it casually? All the kids?
The kids are like, I'm like, all right, let's go inside, kids. And then I sat in the bathroom with him for 20 minutes while his mom came and picked him up, and I just cleaning blood. Just kept getting more and more paper towels, cleaning blood out of the back of his head.
Was the kid like just like wailing?
He was crying, but he was like really surprisingly strong. I think it was only because he didn't see how fucked up the wound was, because in the back of his head, so it was like on his arm, it's like, there's my bone. I'm freaking out. But in the back of his head, he's like, oh, it's just a cut. You know,
Yeah.
and he didn't know how terrible it was.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Ignorance is bliss, especially in that case.
Yep. That was my week. That's what I checked out.
That's cool.
Head staples.
I checked out of my own brain because I over the weekend, I don't know what happened, but I fucked up my sleep schedule like hardcore. Like I don't know what happened. Like I was going to bed at 2 and then like I couldn't not go to bed at 2 after that. So I was like, all right, what I need to do is I need to cut back on coffee. So I think Tuesday I only had a double shot of coffee. Oh yeah. Let me preface what's been going on. So, I've been starting to drink coffee at work. Right, there's a coffee machine at work that my coworker and I use, and we have our own beans there, and like we make our own coffee in the morning. And I usually have about 2 cups a day. So that's pretty average, right, for the average person to consume.
Yeah.
But like for some reason, my coworker and I were like, wow, this is eating up through all of our beans. Like I bought a huge bag of this earlier this week, and it's like almost gone. And it's like only like 2 weeks or whatever. What's going on? But we don't really make note of it, and we just keep going on, and we just keep drinking our 2 cups a day. My coworker actually like loads his canteen up with like 3 because he has to go to lab later, so he needs the extra coffee. So we go on, and I'm like I start feeling the need to get more coffee more and more. I'm just like, wow, I really need a lot of coffee to just get through the day. This is ridiculous. I'm getting like 3 cups a day or something. One day my coworker just comes in. He's like, and he comes in. He tells me, he's like, I was talking to Monica over by the kitchenette earlier today, and she informed me that the coffee machine has by default creates a double shot espresso. So
You never noticed the taste?
I was like, wow, this is really dark. Maybe that's just the beans we're using or something. But yeah, we've been consuming double espressos. I've been consuming double espressos twice a day, every day for the past like 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Jesus Christ.
And so I'm like, okay, this has got to stop. So Monday I was feeling miserable, but Tuesday I cut back. I only had 1 double shot. Wednesday I went tea only, and today I went cold turkey, nothing that had caffeine in it.
How'd that go?
I want to die.
Sounds all right.
And it's actually not as terrible. I was like fully functioning throughout the day, and I'm podcasting right now, so I'm obviously doing okay. But I'm just in the back of my mind, I'm just like, oh man, I'm not feeling great. So yeah, that's just what I've been trying to do to trying to stay alive without caffeine. It's okay. Not much more to say on that. In terms of other things I've been testing, I got a pour over coffee thing. Do you know what that is, Taylor? It's like the cone and all that.
Oh, the one in which you kind of had to pour in the water as a swirl?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried out some new coffee brews, like different techniques. I tried this method where you brew coffee straight onto ice, so it becomes cold as soon as it can, so it holds in the flavor. I read a really interesting article about how and why it keeps in the flavor when it's
How
brewed
much
like
money
that.
do you spend in coffee each month?
Okay, so actually I have
Including
not.
beer, I'm assuming.
So the pour over thing that I got from my brother, because he upgraded his own gear. He spends way more stuff on coffee. Like, he's insane. He has more coffee machines than coffee he makes. He's actually roasting his own beans now these days.
Nice.
Oh my god.
My dad did that a couple of years ago.
It's pretty cool, actually.
He destroyed a popcorn maker and turned it into a bean roasting machine.
Yep, that's how you do it.
Fucking awesome.
That's how you do it. It's awesome. So some people use like smokers and like barbecue like grills and stuff. It's crazy. But anyway, so in terms of like how much I consume, like I actually don't consume that much. So I purchased. Have you ever been to Stumptown?
No.
No.
It's like it's a pretty big. It's like a chain, but it's like a chain for hipster coffee, if you could call it that. But they make some pretty good coffee, and I must have gone like a long time ago, probably the week before July 4th weekend, so June 26th, 25th, 26th. That's the last bag of beans I bought, and I still have it. So I'd probably buy one bag a month. But
How
that's
much
not
is that bag?
How big is the bag?
That bag was $20. But I got a free coffee with it, so it's okay.
Okay.
But like aside from that, like that's only like a one-off because I was going to Stumptown. But I usually pick up when I can, at least. I usually try to pick up some beans from Temple. I really like Temple's beans.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty good. And then and those run me like what, $15-$16 a bag. So they're not that expensive compared to Stumptown. So no, I don't spend that much on coffee. Actually, it's actually a lot cheaper than going out every day and buying your Starbucks cup and all that. And I go through it reasonably slowly somehow. I mean, a lot of it is probably because I start making coffee at work. And I bought a $10 bag, and it's a big bag of like grocery store beans, which are better than average, but better than your average grocery store beans, but not that great. But they're good enough for work, so that's what I do. Any closing thoughts before we close out the podcast? You guys want to talk about, or previews for what you guys are working on this week, next week?
Previews.
Work.
Work.
That's my life.
Okay. I have an exciting plan for you guys, but that's reserved for after the podcast. So, I think this is a good time for us to close out. So if you want to follow us, you can follow me on Twitter at the James Lee. Although Twitter is kind of a pain to be on these days. As we get closer and closer to the election, I find myself on Twitter less and less. How about you, Taylor?
I'm always on Twitter and never getting anything out of it. So
You can follow him at T
nothing's
Kelsey.
changed.
Okay, and Max, do you want anything you want to plug this week?
Working on a new video, so I guess I'll have to link that channel now.
Okay, all right. Just shoot it over to me, and I'll make sure to shove it in the video description. If you want to check out this awesome outro that you're listening to right now. By the way, I'm gonna try to get a soundboard user to be in here so you guys can listen to the epic sounds we got every time we record. Brighten up the mood or something. If you want to check out that awesome beat you're listening to right now, you can check out Grant Webster's SoundCloud link in the video description. And I think that's it. If you want to check out our articles, I'm always working on something. I'm always writing but never publishing. But I think I've got it. I've got like a webcomic recommendation list that I want to publish soon, very soon. So if you want to, if you want to refresh your page constantly, the page that you want to refresh is addendum.wordpress.com. Without further ado, thank you for listening. On behalf of Taylor, Max, and the absent Ravenstorm and myself, we'll see you next time.